Welcome to the 1% Rule: Why the World is Ruled by a Few and How to Think Like Them. Written and published by Mindful Literary. For centuries, power has followed a predictable pattern. A small group of people, just 1% of the population, accumulates wealth, influence, and control while the rest navigate a system designed to serve them. Why does this happen? More importantly, how can you break the cycle and start thinking like the 1%? This book isn't about conspiracy theories or empty outrage. It's about understanding the mechanics of power, how networks, psychology, decision-making, and long-term strategy shape influence. The elite don't play by the same rules as everyone else. They make the rules. But here's the truth. You don't have to be born into power to think and operate like those who hold it. This audiobook will break down the strategies of the world's most successful, powerful individuals, from their mindset to their decision-making frameworks, from their approach to wealth building to their use of influence. By the time you finish this book, you won't just understand power. You'll know how to apply these principles to your own life, career, and future. The question is, are you ready to think like the 1%? Chapter 1. Understanding the 1% Rule. Defining the 1% Rule. The 1% Rule, in its essence, highlights the stark contrast in power distribution within societies, emphasizing how a small fraction of the population holds a disproportionate amount of wealth, resources, and influence. This phenomenon is not just a statistical anomaly. It shapes the very fabric of social dynamics and policymaking. As a significant portion of global resources becomes concentrated in the hands of a select few, the implications ripple through economic systems, education, healthcare, and more, affecting millions. The voices and needs of the majority often go unheard, overshadowed by the interests of this elite. However, understanding the mechanics behind this concentration helps us question and challenge existing structures, and potentially leads to a more equitable society. This concentration of wealth and influence raises critical issues about fairness and opportunity. The reality of today's world is that many individuals lack access to the same resources and chances as those who belong to that privileged 1%. Powerful elites often have control over the financial systems, media narratives, and political agendas, allowing them to maintain their advantages. This cycle can be self-perpetuating, where wealth allows for further accumulation of power, leading to policies that protect the elite, while leaving the rest of the population grappling with barriers to success. Understanding this dynamic is crucial as it empowers communities and individuals to recognize inequalities and advocate for systemic change. Historical context of power dynamics. The evolution of power structures has been a constant throughout human history, shaping societies in profound ways. In ancient times, power was often concentrated in the hands of a few, typically kings or emperors who ruled through divine right or tribal authority. These hierarchical systems laid the groundwork for feudal societies, where lords and vassals exchanged land for loyalty and military service. As civilizations advanced, the rise of trade and markets began to shift the dynamics of power. Wealth became a critical asset, not just for rulers, but for merchants and the burgeoning middle class. This transformation set the stage for democratic ideas to flourish during the Enlightenment, where concepts of equality and individual rights began to challenge traditional power structures. Key historical events have played vital roles in reshaping the landscape of wealth and power. The Renaissance revived interest in learning and culture, which catalyzed the questioning of absolute authority. The American and French revolutions were landmark moments that redefined political power, emphasizing the principle that governments should reflect the will of the people rather than divine or hereditary rights. The Industrial Revolution further changed the game by introducing new economic systems and class dynamics, moving power from agrarian elites to industrial capitalists. Each of these events contributed to a more complex interplay of power, influencing how wealth is created, distributed, and maintained. They also laid the groundwork for modern conflicts and social movements aimed at equity and justice. Understanding the historical context of power dynamics provides valuable insights into contemporary issues. Knowledge of how power has shifted can inform our perspectives on current events, economic policies, and social movements. For instance, recognizing the roots of inequality can empower individuals and communities to seek change. A practical tip for engaging with these historical narratives is to explore local histories that illustrate the effects of these larger movements. Local stories often reveal how power dynamics play out within communities, providing a meaningful connection to broader historical trends. Implications of the 1% on society. Wealth disparity creates stark contrasts in everyday life, leading to profound social consequences. The gap between the rich and the poor becomes a space filled with unrest and frustration. When a small percentage of the population holds a vast majority of wealth, the marginalized majority often finds themselves sidelined from opportunities, resources, and decision-making processes that affect their lives. This inequality manifests in various forms, from reduced access to quality education and healthcare to diminished political power. The marginalized groups not only feel economically disadvantaged, but also socially isolated, which can breed resentment and a sense of helplessness. Communities that were once vibrant and collaborative begin to fracture, leading to increased crime and unrest. Individuals in these communities frequently grapple with feelings of hopelessness, feeling as if the deck is stacked against them and that the pursuits of success and stability are beyond their reach. The implications of wealth disparity extend into the realm of democracy and civic engagement as well. In an unequal society, the voices of the wealthy often dominate public discourse, overshadowing the concerns of the vast majority. When people feel that their concerns and interests are not represented, civic engagement decreases, leading to voter apathy and disillusionment with political systems. This situation creates a cycle in which the interests of the few dictate the policies and direction of the country, further alienating those who lack the financial means to influence decision-making. As a result, democratic practices may suffer, leading to the emergence of populist movements that can either unify or further divide society. The health of democracy hinges on active participation, and when wealth disparity stifles that participation, the very essence of civil society is at risk. Without nurturing an engaged citizenry, the foundation of democracy weakens, leaving institutions vulnerable to erosion by self-serving interests. Understanding the social implications of wealth disparity emphasizes the importance of fostering inclusive discussions and policies that promote equity. Everyone can play a role in advocating for changes that bridge the gap between the affluent and the marginalized, reinforcing the idea that civic engagement should be a cornerstone of a healthy democracy. Participating in local organizations, supporting policies that aim to reduce inequality, and encouraging dialogue that amplifies diverse voices can help create a more equitable society. By recognizing the need for collective action, individuals can contribute to building a future where opportunities are more widely available, leading to social harmony and a robust democratic process. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Control. How Power Shapes Perception. Power has a profound impact on the way individuals perceive reality. Those in positions of authority often shape our understanding of the world around us, sometimes without us even realizing it. This connection between power and perception operates on several levels. For instance, when a leader confidently asserts a particular viewpoint, followers may adopt that perspective simply due to the leader's status. This phenomenon highlights the idea that perception is not only influenced by personal experience, but is also substantially shaped by external forces. The more power one holds, the more their version of reality can permeate the minds of others. This dynamic can steer public opinion and alter societal norms, reinforcing the idea that perception is a malleable construct rather than a fixed truth. In a world where information is often controlled or filtered, understanding the nexus of power and perception becomes increasingly crucial. Recognizing this influence can help individuals challenge prevailing narratives that may not align with their own experiences. Cognitive biases further complicate this interplay, especially when authority figures are involved. Individuals often exhibit confirmation bias, favoring information that supports their pre-existing beliefs or the beliefs of those in power. This can lead to a narrow understanding of complex issues, where dissenting opinions are sidelined or ignored. Consider how political leaders use language and rhetoric to frame issues in a way that resonates with their followers, solidifying their control over narratives. The backfire effect is another cognitive bias that emerges in these dynamics, where individuals double down on their beliefs when faced with contradictory evidence, especially if that evidence comes from an authority figure. This reinforces a cycle where the power dynamics dictate which facts are accepted and which are dismissed, creating echo chambers that can distort collective perception. Becoming aware of these biases is essential for anyone who wishes to navigate the complex landscape of power and perception. Regularly questioning the sources of information, considering alternative viewpoints, and engaging in healthy skepticism can empower individuals to break free from the cognitive confines that authority figures may impose. By fostering an environment where differing perspectives can coalesce, society can evolve toward a more nuanced understanding of reality. This conscious effort to engage critically with information allows individuals to build a more authentic perception of the world, free from the distortions of unchecked power. The role of fear and influence. Fear is a powerful tool used throughout history to maintain control and influence behavior. Psychological tactics that exploit fear often create an environment where individuals feel threatened and powerless. This state of vulnerability can lead to compliance, where people adhere to rules and follow instructions out of dread rather than conviction. An example of this can be seen in authoritarian regimes that perpetuate fear to stifle dissent. They may use propaganda to exaggerate threats, create myths of danger, or highlight potential consequences of rebellion, leading the populace to accept oppressive measures in exchange for perceived safety. The effectiveness of these methods lies in their ability to manipulate emotions, making individuals more prone to accepting power structures that otherwise seem unjust or undesirable. Manipulating public sentiment is another strategy that reinforces the power of elites. By carefully crafting narratives that resonate with the fears and hopes of the people, those in power can shape collective perception and guide action. Media plays a significant role in this process, often amplifying specific messages that align with the interests of the elite while downplaying dissenting voices. This creates an echo chamber where only certain viewpoints are legitimatized, and individuals increasingly conform to them out of a desire for acceptance or fear of ostracism. Additionally, social media platforms can exacerbate this dynamic, as trends can be rapidly spread, influencing public opinion almost overnight. In this digital age, understanding how sentiment is manipulated can empower individuals to question these narratives and resist unwarranted influence. Staying aware of how fear and influence are employed can be a protective measure against manipulation. Cultivating critical thinking skills allows individuals to dissect messages, analyze motives, and make informed decisions. Whether it's questioning news sources or engaging in discussions that challenge dominant narratives, fostering an environment of inquiry promotes resilience against controlling forces. Remember, the ability to think critically is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a practical way to safeguard one's autonomy and ensure that choices are made based on reasoned thought rather than fear. Psychological profiles of the elite. The powerful and wealthy often share a set of psychological traits that distinguish them from the average person. One of the most prevalent characteristics is a high degree of self-confidence, which allows them to take risks and pursue ambitious goals without fear of failure. This self-assurance often stems from a history of success, creating a reinforcing cycle where confidence begets more confidence. Additionally, many elite individuals possess low levels of anxiety when faced with uncertainty or high-pressure situations. This ability to remain calm and collected can help them navigate challenges that would overwhelm others, making them adept at seizing opportunities where others see obstacles. Furthermore, a strong drive for achievement is another common trait. These individuals often set lofty goals and are relentless in their pursuit, showing a unique combination of resilience and persistence that allows them to overcome setbacks and maintain focus on their long-term objectives. Several factors shape the decision-making and lifestyle choices of the elite. A significant influence is their access to education and networks that provide information and resources. This knowledge empowers them to make informed choices that align with their goals. Additionally, the elite tend to engage in strategic thinking, weighing potential outcomes and considering the bigger picture before acting. This careful deliberation gives them an edge in both personal and professional arenas. Social dynamics also play a crucial role. Elite individuals often surround themselves with like-minded individuals who reinforce their values and ambitions. This environment fosters a culture of success, where collaboration and competition coalesce to drive further achievements. Moreover, the lifestyle choices of the powerful and wealthy often reflect their priorities and aspirations, leading to decisions that prioritize long-term benefits over short-term gratification, thereby reinforcing their positions of power. Understanding these psychological traits and decision-making factors sheds light on the behaviors and choices of the elite, providing insight into their unique approach to life. For anyone looking to develop similar traits, it is beneficial to cultivate confidence through incremental challenges, seek knowledge from diverse sources, and build a supportive network that aligns with one's goals. By consciously adopting these practices, individuals can enhance their decision-making capabilities and potentially elevate their overall life experience. Chapter 3. Networks and Connections. The Power of Personal Networks. Personal relationships amplify influence and create opportunities in ways that are often underestimated. When individuals engage genuinely with each other, they form bonds that extend beyond superficial interactions. These connections can be the key to unlocking doors that might otherwise remain closed. For instance, consider someone eyeing a promotion in their job. If that person has established a rapport with their supervisor and colleagues, their chances of being noticed for the role increase significantly. It's not just about the skills and qualifications on paper, it's about the trust and familiarity that grow through these interactions. The more someone nurtures their personal relationships, the more likely they are to receive support when needed, whether it's a recommendation, guidance, or a critical introduction to someone influential. The importance of networking cannot be overstated when it comes to accessing resources and information. A well-connected individual often has a finger on the pulse of industry trends and opportunities, simply because they engage with a variety of people. These connections provide insights that aren't always available through formal channels or public resources. Imagine you are starting a new venture. Your ability to tap into the knowledge of friends and acquaintances who have traveled the same road can save you time and enhance your chances of success. They can offer advice based on experience, share valuable contacts, and even steer you away from common pitfalls. Therefore, taking the time to build and maintain a network is not just beneficial, but essential in navigating the complexities of personal and professional landscapes. Developing personal networks is an ongoing process that requires intention and effort. Attending events, engaging in community activities, or even reaching out to people through social platforms can create powerful connections. This isn't merely transactional. It's about cultivating relationships where both parties are willing to support each other. Always remember, a solid network acts as a safety net, providing not just opportunities, but a wealth of collective knowledge. As you embark on building your own network, keep in mind that every connection has the potential to change your trajectory. Approaching relationships with authenticity and generosity will yield far greater returns than simply looking for what you can gain. Building alliances in high places. Forming partnerships with influential individuals can seem like an intimidating venture, but understanding effective strategies can open doors to a world of opportunities. One fundamental approach is to identify shared interests and values. When reaching out to potential allies, emphasize common goals. Whether it's a mutual passion for philanthropy, a shared vision for innovation, or similar career trajectories, highlighting these connections establishes a sense of camaraderie and trust. It is also crucial to approach these relationships with authenticity and respect. People can generally sense insincerity, so being genuine in your intentions is key to forming lasting alliances. The dynamics of collaboration among the elite often revolve around reciprocity and leverage. Influential individuals are typically busy and selective about whom they align with, which means understanding what value you can bring to these partnerships is essential. It's not just about what you can gain, it's about what you can offer that complements their goals. This might involve sharing unique insights, facilitating important introductions, or providing access to resources that would otherwise be out of reach. Establishing an environment where both parties feel valued leads to more productive collaborations. Effective communication serves as the backbone of any alliance. Keeping an open line of dialogue fosters transparency and allows for the navigation of the complexities that come with high-stakes partnerships. Engaging regularly with your allies not only strengthens the bond, but also encourages the flow of ideas and innovations that can lead to groundbreaking projects. Lastly, staying adaptable in these relationships is vital. Circumstances can shift quickly in elite circles, and being prepared to pivot can keep the collaboration thriving. A practical tip for anyone looking to build influential alliances is to attend events where these individuals gather. Engage in meaningful conversations, and be persistent but polite in cultivating those connections. The impact of social media on networking. Digital platforms have profoundly transformed traditional networking methods, creating a landscape where connections are made with just a few clicks. In the past, networking often required face-to-face interactions or formal gatherings, which could limit opportunities based on geography or social circles. With the advent of social media, these limitations have largely vanished. People can now connect with others from around the globe instantaneously, fostering relationships that would have been impossible just a couple of decades ago. Social media platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook have become essential tools for building professional relationships. They enable individuals to showcase their skills, share insights, and engage with industry leaders without the constraints of time and space. The ease of sharing information encourages collaboration and knowledge sharing, allowing for a dynamic exchange of ideas that enriches professional networks. Moreover, social media has significantly altered the dynamics of public and private relationships among those in power. Leaders and influencers use these platforms to communicate directly with their followers, presenting a more relatable and approachable image. This direct line of communication not only elevates their public persona, but also allows them to gauge public opinion in real time. Social media provides a space where powerful individuals can build and maintain relationships with peers and followers alike, enabling them to harness collective support for initiatives and policies. The informal nature of social platforms facilitates rapid exchanges and constant dialogue, which can strengthen ties that may be fleeting in a more traditional, formal setting. As a result, the influence of social media in shaping public perception and facilitating powerful alliances cannot be underestimated. It has become a crucial tool for both personal branding and network growth. Understanding the power of social media in networking opens the door to countless opportunities. Leveraging platforms to engage authentically, share valuable content, and participate in discussions can significantly enhance one's visibility and connections. One practical tip for maximizing social media networking efforts is to create a consistent online presence by regularly sharing insights and engaging with others. This not only fosters engagement, but also positions you as a thought leader within your industry, ultimately leading to stronger, more meaningful connections. Chapter 4. Wealth and Resources. Understanding the wealth gap. The wealth gap refers to the unequal distribution of assets among individuals, households, or groups in society. It encompasses not just differences in income, but also variances in access to resources, opportunities for wealth accumulation, and the ability to leverage financial assets. This divide manifests in various forms, including education, healthcare, and housing options, and carries profound societal implications. As wealth becomes increasingly concentrated in the hands of a small percentage of the population, those on the lower end struggle with the day-to-day realities of financial insecurity, which can lead to decreased educational attainment, poorer health outcomes, and a general sense of disillusionment with the system. The wealth gap thus not only reflects economic disparities, but can amplify social tensions, contribute to political instability, and hinder social mobility for future generations. Statistics paint a stark picture of the growing wealth divide. In recent years, studies have shown that the top 1% of households own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. This glaring disparity isn't just a number, it has tangible effects on the economy. When a significant portion of wealth is held by a few, it limits consumer spending, the engine of our economy. Middle and lower-income households often have less disposable income, meaning they spend less on goods and services, which in turn impacts businesses and can lead to slower economic growth. Moreover, a shrinking middle class can lead to an increase in social unrest as people feel alienated and excluded from the opportunities that wealth represents. The ramifications of this divide are deep-rooted and extend beyond mere statistics. They affect communities, families, and every fabric of society. Understanding the wealth gap is not just about recognizing numbers. It is about seeing how these financial dynamics play out in real life. Addressing this issue requires active engagement from individuals and communities. Investing in education, advocating for fair wage policies, and supporting local businesses can help bridge the gap on a grassroots level. Every small action contributes to a broader movement towards economic equality, creating a ripple effect that can transform lives. Being mindful of where money is spent and how it can support larger systemic changes is a practical approach to combating the wealth gap. Asset accumulation, strategies of the 1%. Investment strategies that lead to wealth accumulation among the elite are often characterized by a blend of innovative thinking and careful planning. High net worth individuals frequently engage in a variety of investment avenues, including but not limited to real estate, stocks, and private equity. One common approach is capitalizing on market inefficiencies. By investing in undervalued assets or sectors, the 1% utilize their resources to identify growth potential that others might overlook. They often have access to specialized market research, which provides insights that inform their investment decisions, maximizing returns over the long run. Asset diversification plays a crucial role in the wealth-building strategies of the elite. Wealthy individuals do not put all their eggs in one basket. Instead, they spread their investments across various asset classes. This way, if one investment underperforms, others can potentially offset the loss. Diversification isn't just about spreading risk. It's also about seeking opportunities in different markets and geographical regions, which can lead to higher rewards. Furthermore, financial literacy is paramount. The 1% possess a deep understanding of financial principles, allowing them to navigate complex investment environments, assess risks accurately, and make informed decisions that align with their long-term objectives. Recognizing the interconnectedness of these strategies is vital. Wealthy individuals continuously educate themselves on economic trends and the implications of fiscal policy changes. They leverage professional advisors not merely for expertise, but to gain a comprehensive view of the financial landscape. For anyone looking to build wealth, investing in financial literacy is fundamental. Understanding market dynamics, asset classes, and the importance of diversification can pave the way to effective wealth accumulation over time. A practical tip for aspiring investors is to dedicate time each week to studying investment techniques and financial strategies, fostering a mindset that embraces lifelong learning and adaptability. The influence of money on politics. Financial resources play a critical role in shaping political landscapes and determining electoral outcomes. The ability to fund campaigns often translates into greater visibility and support for candidates. Those with ample financial backing can afford extensive advertising, engage professional consultants, and mobilize grassroots efforts more effectively than their opponents. This financial power often leads to an imbalance where certain candidates gain a considerable advantage, enabling them to dominate media narratives and public perception. In many cases, the candidates who can raise the most money are those who win elections, making it imperative for them to cultivate relationships with wealthy donors and interest groups. The ripple effect of financial influence extends beyond individual campaigns too. It creates a dynamic where political parties prioritize the interests of their largest contributors over the general populace, thus altering the fundamental nature of democratic engagement. The impact of lobbying and campaign contributions extends deeply into policy-making processes. Lobbyists, representing various industries and interests, invest significant amounts of money to ensure that their voices are heard in legislative discussions. These financial contributions often sway decision-makers, encouraging them to support bills that align with the priorities of their sponsors. This relationship raises questions about the integrity and fairness of the political process. When policy decisions are influenced by monetary contributions, the interests of average citizens can be overshadowed, leading to laws and regulations that favor the wealthy and well-connected. Additionally, the revolving door between government roles and private sector jobs means that lawmakers may create policies that benefit future employers. Consequently, the interplay between money and politics can shape legislation in ways that do not always reflect the values or needs of the broader society. Understanding the dynamics of money in politics is essential for any engaged citizen. It's helpful to support transparency initiatives that call for clear disclosure of campaign donations and lobbying activities. Being informed about who funds political campaigns can give insights into potential biases in decision-making. Engaging in community debates about political finance reform can create a call for change aimed at reducing the undue influence of money in politics, ensuring that elected representatives truly serve the public interest rather than the narrow interests of a few wealthy individuals. By prioritizing advocacy for transparency, individuals can contribute to a political environment where all voices have the opportunity to be heard, enhancing the democratic process. Chapter 5. Education and Knowledge. Education as a tool for empowerment. Education plays a vital role in building personal and societal power. It serves as a foundation upon which individuals can develop critical thinking skills, access resources, and gain knowledge that enhances their potential. When people are educated, they become more capable of making informed decisions, contributing to their communities, and advocating for their own rights. On a larger scale, education fosters a more enlightened society where citizens are aware of social issues and prepared to engage in constructive dialogue. In this way, educated individuals can challenge systemic injustices and work towards creating a fairer world for everyone. Thus, education is not just about acquiring facts. It's about empowering people to act and influence the world around them. Many inspiring case studies illustrate how individuals have leveraged education for success, demonstrating the transformative power it holds. Take Malala Yousafzai, for example, who became a global advocate for girls' education after surviving an assassination attempt by the Taliban. Her pursuit of education in the face of such adversity highlights the extraordinary resilience that education can build. By utilizing her voice and the platform that education provided her, Malala has sparked a worldwide movement advocating for every child's right to learn. Another powerful story is that of Wangari Maathai, who used her education in biology to advance environmental conservation in Kenya. By founding the Green Belt movement, she empowered countless women, emphasizing the connection between education, environmental sustainability, and community progress. Such examples reveal that education equips people not only to fulfill their personal dreams, but also to uplift others and affect change, making it a crucial tool for empowerment. Understanding the profound impacts that education can have is essential. It is not only a means to an end, but also a catalyst for broader societal changes. Individuals who dedicate themselves to learning and growth often inspire those around them to do the same, creating ripple effects in communities. The investment in education is, therefore, an investment in humanity's collective future. To harness the full power of education, consider seeking opportunities for lifelong learning, whether through formal education, online courses, or community workshops. This proactive approach can unlock dormant potentials and cultivate the empowerment needed to navigate the complexities of today's world. The secrets of elite education systems. Prestigious educational institutions often share certain characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These schools typically boast a long history of academic excellence, a distinguished faculty, and facilities that are often unrivaled. The curriculum is often enriched, incorporating advanced courses, extracurricular activities, and resources that foster innovative thinking. Access to these elite institutions is frequently determined by a combination of factors, including standardized test scores, prior academic achievement, and unfortunately, socioeconomic background. Families with higher incomes often have the means to invest in preparatory courses and tutoring that can enhance their children's chances of admission. This creates a cycle where privilege helps ensure continued access, thus maintaining the reputation and exclusivity of these elite schools. Elite education plays a significant role in sustaining socioeconomic status among its attendees. Graduating from a prestigious school often opens doors to top universities, which in turn can lead to well-paid jobs and influential positions in society. The networks built during these educational experiences can result in lasting relationships and opportunities, further solidifying the social and economic advantages of those who have access. Those who can afford elite education not only gain knowledge and critical thinking skills, but also acquire social capital that allows for greater leveraging in professional arenas. The result is a reinforcement of class structures, where education becomes both a tool of personal betterment and a mechanism for perpetuating existing socioeconomic divides. Understanding these dynamics is essential for anyone interested in the role of education in society. It prompts a critical examination of how resources are allocated and how policies can be shaped to promote greater equity. Recognizing the importance of access to high-quality education for all students can encourage advocacy for reforms that aim to level the playing field. This awareness brings to light the pressing need for initiatives that expand opportunities for every child, regardless of their background, ensuring that talent and potential are the only barriers to success. Lifelong learning, the mindset of success. Continuous learning stands as a hallmark of elite thinkers, marking the difference between those who merely exist and those who thrive. The The world is in a constant state of flux. Technologies evolve, industries transform, and new ideas emerge at an unprecedented pace. To stay relevant and ready for opportunities, it's crucial to embrace learning not as a one-time endeavor, but as an ongoing journey. Elite thinkers recognize that knowledge is not static. It is fluid, requiring us to adapt and expand our understanding continuously. They approach challenges with curiosity, seeing obstacles as opportunities to learn rather than barriers to progress. This mindset fosters resilience, as those who commit to lifelong learning are better equipped to navigate change and uncertainty. Personal development can, of course, extend far beyond the traditional classroom. The resources available for this journey are plentiful and diverse. Online courses and webinars provide accessible ways to gain new skills, while podcasts and audiobooks enable impactful learning on the go. Engaging with communities, both local and virtual, can provide insight and inspiration from others who share similar interests or goals. Platforms such as LinkedIn Learning or Coursera offer specialized courses, while joining forums like Reddit or dedicated Facebook groups allows for peer interaction on various subjects. Additionally, reading widely across genres not only enhances knowledge, but also fosters creativity through exposure to different ideas and perspectives. Never underestimate the power of reflection and self-assessment in this learning process. Regularly evaluating what you've learned and how you've applied that knowledge helps to reinforce your skills and identifies areas ripe for growth. Setting personal goals, journaling experiences, or even teaching others what you know are effective ways to deepen understanding. In committing to lifelong learning, one transforms challenges into stepping stones, building a foundation for success that is both fulfilling and dynamic. Embrace curiosity as a lifelong companion and allow it to guide your path toward continuous improvement. Chapter 6. Decision-Making and Strategy. The framework of strategic thinking. Strategic decision-making is not just a skill reserved for top executives or elite strategists. It is a collection of principles that anyone can learn and apply. One fundamental principle is the importance of a long-term perspective. The best decisions are those that consider not only immediate benefits, but also potential future consequences. Elite decision-makers often emphasize the need for clarity in objectives. Knowing what you want to achieve is crucial. They also focus on gathering comprehensive data to inform their choices, recognizing that intuition alone can lead to costly mistakes. Another key aspect is flexibility. The willingness to adapt when circumstances change or new information comes to light is essential for effective strategy. The analysis process for evaluating options and outcomes begins with identifying all possible alternatives. This stage requires creativity and open-mindedness, as what may initially seem like a far-fetched idea could lead to innovative strategies. Once options are on the table, the next step is a thorough assessment of each, weighing potential risks against rewards. Tools such as SWOT analysis, assessing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, can provide clarity and structure during this phase. Additionally, scenario planning is valuable. By imagining varying future contexts, decision-makers can gauge how different strategies may perform under each circumstance. This forward-thinking approach allows for anticipating challenges and refining options. Ultimately, successful strategic thinking combines these principles and processes with constant reflection and learning. Regularly revisiting past decisions and their outcomes fosters a culture of improvement and accountability. Emphasizing continuous feedback can help refine strategic frameworks and improve future decision-making. Anyone looking to enhance their strategic thinking skills should commit to developing a mindset that embraces curiosity and resilience, keeping an eye on both the present and the future with every choice made. Case studies in elite decision-making. Strategic decisions made by influential leaders often shape the course of history, demonstrating the profound impact of effective decision-making. For instance, consider the case of how Sir Winston Churchill approached World War II. Faced with the threat of Nazi Germany, Churchill made the bold decision to reject peace negotiations and instead ramped up military efforts. His resolve helped galvanize the British public and allies, ultimately leading to a united front that contributed significantly to the defeat of the Axis powers. This case highlights how steadfast leadership and clarity of vision can alter the trajectory of events in critical moments. On the other hand, the challenges encountered by Nokia during the rise of smartphones serve as a warning about decision-making pitfalls. Once a dominant force in the mobile phone industry, Nokia failed to adapt quickly to the changing technological landscape and underestimated the threat posed by companies like Apple and Google. The decision to stick with their existing Symbian operating system, rather than embracing the emerging smartphone trend, led to a sharp decline in market share. This situation teaches us that in high-stakes environments, adaptability is crucial. Leaders must remain open to change, even if it requires abandoning past successes. Analyzing these case studies highlights crucial lessons in elite decision-making. The ability to foresee potential outcomes and act decisively is key to leadership success. Additionally, it emphasizes the importance of balancing conviction with flexibility. While strong leadership involves making tough, often unpopular decisions based on strategic foresight, it is equally vital to be responsive to evolving circumstances. A practical takeaway for aspiring leaders is to cultivate a mindset that embraces both vision and adaptability, ensuring their decisions are both brave and sensible in an ever-changing landscape. Overcoming common decision pitfalls. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts that can often lead us astray in our decision-making processes. These biases, such as confirmation bias and anchoring, cause us to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or rely too heavily on the first piece of information we encounter. For instance, confirmation bias leads us to seek out evidence that supports our viewpoints while ignoring contradictory information, which can result in unbalanced decisions. Anchoring, on the other hand, causes us to base our choices on initial judgments, often without considering the full range of available data. Such biases are not just an individual issue. They can influence group decisions, creating echo chambers where only certain opinions prevail. Recognizing these common cognitive biases is the first step in overcoming the pitfalls they create, allowing for more effective and rational decision-making. Mitigating cognitive biases requires deliberate strategies and a willingness to challenge our own thinking. One effective approach is to actively seek out diverse perspectives. Engaging with individuals who have different viewpoints can help counteract confirmation bias by introducing new evidence and ideas into the decision-making process. Another useful technique is to establish a structured decision-making framework. This might involve creating a checklist of criteria to evaluate options comprehensively, or utilizing decision trees that force a careful analysis of potential outcomes. Additionally, setting aside time for reflection can provide space to critically assess our thought processes, breaking the impulsiveness that often accompanies poor decision-making. By building these strategies into our routines, we can foster a mindset that prioritizes thorough evaluation over immediate reactions. Embedding these practices into daily life can lead to more thoughtful and informed decisions. One practical tip is to regularly engage in what is known as premortem thinking. This involves imagining that a decision has failed and then brainstorming the reasons for this failure. By considering potential pitfalls before they occur, we can identify influences from cognitive biases and make adjustments as needed. Ultimately, being aware of our biases and employing structured strategies not only improves our decision-making, but also empowers us to navigate complexities with greater confidence and clarity. Chapter 7. Media and Influence. Controlling the narrative, media manipulation. Techniques used by the elite to shape media narratives are often subtle, yet profoundly effective. One common approach is the strategic use of language to frame issues in a way that benefits their interests. For instance, the framing of climate change debates can polarize public opinion by labeling certain viewpoints as radical, while presenting others as common sense. This creates a narrative where one side appears extreme and the other reasonable, steering public perception accordingly. Manipulation also occurs through the selective promotion of specific stories. Major media outlets often prioritize news that aligns with the interests of their owners or advertisers. By promoting certain issues while downplaying others, they can effectively control the public discourse, guiding what is considered worthy of discussion and what is ignored. The consequences of selective information dissemination on public opinion are significant. When people are exposed only to favorable narratives, their understanding of complex issues becomes skewed. The result is a societal mindset shaped by incomplete or misleading information. This can lead to widespread misconceptions and a lack of awareness about critical issues that require attention and action. For example, If the media focuses mainly on economic growth without discussing the environmental repercussions, the public may fail to recognize the urgency of sustainability efforts. This disconnect can foster apathy or, conversely, lead to backlash against environmental initiatives, all because the narrative was carefully constructed to omit crucial details. Recognizing media manipulation techniques can empower individuals as critical consumers of information. One practical tip is to seek out diverse sources of news. By exploring various viewpoints and media outlets, you can build a more rounded understanding of the topics that matter. Engaging with independent journalism can also reveal alternative narratives that mainstream outlets may overlook. The goal is to foster a critical mindset and remain aware that behind most media content lies a constructed narrative that serves specific interests. The role of influencers in shaping public opinion. Social and traditional influencers play a significant role in shaping public opinion in today's fast-paced world. The rise of social media platforms has elevated many individuals to the status of influencers, giving them the power to sway public sentiment and drive conversations on a global scale. Traditional influencers, such as journalists, celebrities, and politicians, have also adapted to this changing landscape, using their platforms to reach wider audiences. The impact of these influencers can be seen in various spheres, from fashion trends to political movements. Their ability to connect with audiences in genuine ways makes them persuasive voices in shaping attitudes and beliefs. For example, celebrities endorsing specific products can boost brand visibility and consumer trust, while activists using social media can mobilize support for critical social issues. The overlap of social and traditional influencer dynamics creates a complex web of influence that informs societal norms and values. Influential figures employ various strategies to sway public sentiment effectively. One key strategy is storytelling, where influencers share personal anecdotes or experiences that resonate with their audience. This emotional connection fosters trust and makes their followers more receptive to the messages being conveyed. Additionally, many influencers utilize the power of visual content, leveraging images and videos to create compelling narratives that engage their audience. Using hashtags, collaborations, or viral challenges can amplify their reach, making it easier to engage a larger demographic. Another technique involves engaging directly with followers through live sessions or comments, which fosters a sense of community and reinforces their influence. These interactions allow influencers to gauge public sentiment and adjust their messaging accordingly, enhancing their effectiveness in shaping opinions. Understanding the role of influencers is crucial in navigating today's information landscape. Being aware of how influencers operate can empower individuals to critically assess the messages they encounter. Not all influencers are credible, and discerning their motivations can help people form more informed opinions. It's essential to analyze the source of information and some underlying biases that may shape an influencer's perspective. Taking the time to cross-check information, engage with a variety of viewpoints, and practice critical thinking can lead to a more comprehensive understanding of issues at hand. Cultivating this awareness not only benefits personal decision-making, but also contributes to a more informed and engaged populace. Harnessing technology for information control. Emerging technologies are reshaping the landscape of information dissemination in remarkable ways. The rise of social media platforms, for instance, allows individuals and organizations to share news, opinions, and insights instantly with vast audiences. In today's digital age, artificial intelligence plays a pivotal role in curating content, personalizing news feeds, and even predicting trends based on user behavior. This wealth of data gives rise to sophisticated algorithms that determine what information reaches specific users, raising questions about manipulation and bias. Additionally, blockchain technology promises to enhance transparency in information sharing, verifying the authenticity of news sources and combating misinformation. These advancements make it easier than ever for organizations to control how information is distributed and received, ultimately impacting public perceptions and societal narratives. As technology transforms the ways we interact with information, it also introduces significant ethical implications concerning information control. In a landscape where data privacy breaches and surveillance are increasingly common, the balance between security and personal freedom becomes precarious. Companies and governments alike wield unprecedented power through their ability to monitor and influence online behavior. This raises important questions about the extent to which they should regulate content and how such regulations can infringe upon freedom of expression. Moreover, the prioritization of certain voices over others can lead to echo chambers, where users are only exposed to viewpoints that reinforce their existing beliefs. These ethical dilemmas challenge us to consider not just the capabilities of technology, but the moral responsibilities that accompany such power. Understanding the dual-edged nature of emerging technologies is vital for everyone navigating the digital age. As you engage with various platforms, it can be helpful to question the sources of information and the motives behind its dissemination. Staying informed about how algorithms work and the potential biases they may introduce can empower individuals to seek a broader range of perspectives, ultimately fostering a more informed and inclusive society. Remember, while technology has the power to shape narratives, your choices in engaging with information can shape the world around you. Chapter 8. The Role of Technology. Technology as a Tool for Change. Technology has always played a crucial role in shaping society, especially when it comes to the elite using it as a means to instigate social and economic change. In today's world, the elite harness powerful tools like data analytics, social media, and advanced algorithms to drive initiatives that can alter the course of lives and economies. For instance, consider how philanthropic organizations leverage big data to understand poverty levels across different regions. By analyzing the data, they can identify specific needs within communities and allocate resources more effectively, creating targeted programs aimed at alleviating hardship. This means that technology is not merely a tool, but a lens through which the elite can view societal issues, allowing them to enact informed change on a large scale. Moreover, numerous technology-driven initiatives are emerging that directly challenge established norms. One striking example is the rise of online education platforms. These platforms democratize access to learning, allowing individuals from various backgrounds to gain knowledge that was once restricted to elite institutions. This disruption in traditional education methods not only empowers learners, but also reshapes workforce dynamics by providing equal opportunities for skill development. In parallel, social media has become a powerful vehicle for advocacy, enabling grassroots movements to gain traction and challenge long-standing societal issues, such as climate change, racial discrimination, and gender inequality. Through viral campaigns and hashtag movements, ordinary citizens can now demand accountability from those in power, fundamentally altering the landscape of social justice. The synergy of technology and social change highlights a crucial point. It is not just about access to technology, but how that technology is used. Engaging with technology mindfully can empower individuals and communities to challenge existing paradigms and forge new pathways toward equality and sustainable development. To maximize its potential, individuals should seek to understand the technologies at their disposal and use them not only for personal gain, but to uplift others within their community. This approach transforms technology from a tool of the elite into a platform for collective empowerment and global progress. The digital divide and its consequences. The digital divide refers to the gap between individuals, families, and communities that have access to modern information and communication technology, such as the internet, computers, and smartphones, and those who do not. This divide is not just about access to technology. It includes disparities in skills, affordability, and the ability to benefit from digital resources. The implications of the digital divide are profound, affecting educational opportunities, healthcare access, job prospects, and even social interactions. For instance, students without reliable internet access may struggle to keep up with their peers in an increasingly digital learning environment. When communities lack access to telehealth services or online resources, they can suffer significant setbacks in health outcomes. Additionally, without digital literacy, individuals may find it challenging to navigate essential services or engage fully in a modern economy. The issue of technology inequality does more than simply create a gap. It reinforces existing power structures and social hierarchies. Those who already possess advantages in education or income find it easier to acquire the latest technologies, thereby widening the gap further. This cycle perpetuates a system where the privileged have more opportunities to enhance their skills, network, and access resources, while marginalized populations become increasingly isolated. For example, Businesses that rely heavily on digital marketing and e-commerce may thrive while their competitors, lacking technological resources, struggle to stay afloat. In society, the divide not only influences economic conditions, but also shapes political engagement. A lack of access to information can lead to uninformed voting decisions, low civic participation, and the marginalization of certain voices in public discourse. The result is a society where disparity in technology use translates directly into disparity in power and influence. Addressing the digital divide requires concerted efforts from governments, businesses, and communities to ensure equitable access and education. Initiatives can include public and private partnerships to expand broadband infrastructure in underserved areas, as well as programs that offer digital skills training to marginalized groups. As technology continues to evolve, it's crucial to remain aware of how access to it can either empower or disenfranchise. Being proactive about bridging the digital divide is vital, not only for individuals seeking opportunities, but for fostering a more inclusive society. Individuals can also take steps by advocating for their communities, supporting local organizations that aim to enhance digital access, and sharing knowledge with those who may feel left behind in the digital age. Future technologies and potential power shifts. Emerging technologies are rapidly changing the landscape of power dynamics across the globe. Innovations such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and quantum computing are not merely trends. They have the potential to reshape economies, influence political power, and alter societal structures. Artificial intelligence, for instance, can enhance decision-making in industries ranging from healthcare to finance, granting significant advantages to those who have access to this technology. Countries that invest heavily in AI research and development can leapfrog others, establishing themselves as leaders and influencing global policies. Alongside AI, blockchain technology promises to decentralize power by enabling secure, transparent transactions without the need for intermediaries. This shift can empower individuals and small businesses, challenging the traditional structures that have held power for centuries. Quantum computing takes this a step further, unlocking capabilities that could render current encryption methods obsolete, thereby transforming national security measures and data privacy norms. As these technologies unfold, multiple scenarios may emerge affecting shifts in power both domestically and internationally. One possibility is the rise of tech-centric states that lead in technological innovations, creating economic and military advantages. Such countries could impose their standards and values on others, furthering their influence on global governance. Conversely, nations that fail to keep pace with technological advancements may find themselves increasingly marginalized, potentially leading to unstable geopolitical relations. Additionally, within established powers like the United States or the European Union, there may be internal divides between those who reap the benefits of technology and those left behind, resulting in social unrest and demands for change. Furthermore, the advent of these technologies raises ethical questions about surveillance, privacy, and job displacement, prompting public discourse that will shape political agendas and influence voter behavior. Staying informed and adaptable will be critical as we navigate these technological shifts. Individuals and organizations should consider investing in skills related to emerging technologies and remain engaged in discussions surrounding policies that govern their use. Being proactive in understanding the implications of these innovations can help mitigate risks while maximizing opportunities in an ever-changing landscape. Chapter 9: Governance and Authority. The structure of power in modern societies. Modern societies exhibit a complex web of hierarchical structures in government and organizations. At the top of this hierarchy are the individuals who hold decision-making power, often known as leaders or executives. These figures govern various branches within political systems, corporations, and institutions, creating a clear chain of command. For instance, in a government, elected officials, such as presidents or prime ministers, sit at the apex, followed by ministers, department heads, and local officials, each responsible for specific areas. This vertical arrangement is mirrored in corporations with CEOs at the top, followed by vice presidents, managers, and employees. Such clear delineations of authority help streamline decision-making processes and maintain order. Yet they can also create an environment where the voices of those at the lower rungs are stifled. The power dynamics formed within these structures can lead to significant disparities in influence and resources between different levels of the hierarchy. These hierarchical structures not only organize resources and responsibilities, but also reinforce the authority of the elite, who frequently inhabit the upper tiers. The elite, composed of powerful individuals or groups, often benefit from their positions as they possess the resources, connections, and influence necessary to maintain their status. This phenomenon is evident in political contexts where policy decisions can favor powerful lobbyists or corporations, effectively consolidating power and wealth. Such structures inadvertently cultivate a culture of exclusivity, where those at the top may engineer systems that ensure their continued dominance. Moreover, the critical decisions impacting the masses are typically made by a select few, perpetuating a cycle where input from lower ranks is often ignored. As this elite class solidifies its position, the divide between the ruling class and the general populace deepens, fostering a sense of disenchantment among those who feel their needs and voices are overlooked. Understanding these dynamics is essential for developing a more equitable society. Recognizing how contemporary hierarchies function can empower individuals to advocate for greater representation and accountability in governance and organizations. By actively participating in discussions and decision-making processes, citizens and employees can challenge the status quo. Awareness of one's own position within these structures and the implications of power can lead to a more informed and engaged populace, one that seeks change and demands a sharing of authority across all levels. Examining different governance models. Various governance frameworks play a crucial role in shaping how power is distributed across society and influence the way decisions are made. Democratic governance, characterized by participatory decision-making and accountability, often leads to a more equitable distribution of power. In contrast, authoritarian models concentrate decision-making within a small elite, limiting citizen engagement and reinforcing existing power structures. For instance, while democratic systems encourage input from the public, resulting in policies that reflect the will of the majority, authoritarian regimes can sideline public opinion, leading to discontent and social unrest. Moreover, hybrid systems that blend elements of democracy and authoritarianism can complicate power dynamics, where institutions may not be fully accountable, yet still provide some level of public participation, driving a complex interplay of influence and control. When examining which governance systems favor elite control versus those that promote equity, it becomes evident that the structure of political power significantly impacts societal outcomes. Elitist frameworks, such as oligarchies and certain forms of kleptocracies, enable a small group to dictate policies that serve their interests, often at the expense of broader civic welfare. On the other hand, systems designed to promote equity, including participatory democracies and decentralized governance, empower marginalized voices and ensure a more balanced representation of interests. Countries that employ mechanisms for social equity, such as proportional representation or direct participatory initiatives, tend to exhibit higher levels of social trust and cohesion. These systems, though often challenged by systemic inequalities, lay the groundwork for a more inclusive society by leveraging citizen engagement to foster civic responsibility. Understanding the nuances of different governance models allows individuals to critically assess their own political contexts. One practical tip for engaging with governance is to actively participate in community decision-making processes, whether through local governance meetings, civic forums, or advocacy groups. This not only helps to amplify collective voices, but also fosters a culture of accountability and transparency, essential elements for any governance model striving for equity. How laws favor the elite. Legislative practices often showcase a distinct bias toward the wealthy, subtly reinforcing the status quo through policy and regulation. For instance, many tax codes are designed to benefit high-income individuals and corporations, offering deductions and credits that are inaccessible to average citizens. Wealthy individuals can often shelter their income in ways that lower their overall tax burden significantly. This disparity means that while lower-income families struggle to meet basic needs, the affluent can invest, grow wealth, and influence policies that further entrench their advantages. Additionally, the lobbying power of these elites means that legislation often favors powerful industries, creating a legal environment that prioritizes corporate interests over public welfare. Understanding the relationship between legal frameworks and societal inequality reveals a troubling pattern. Laws are not just neutral rules. they are often shaped by those in power who can afford to influence the legislative process. This connection is illustrated through various legal reforms that ostensibly aim to provide equal opportunities, but often fail to reach marginalized groups. For example, the criminal justice system is structured in ways that disproportionately impact poorer communities, while wealthier individuals can afford high-quality legal representation, resulting in starkly different outcomes. This legal landscape acts as a mirror reflecting broader societal inequalities, wherein access to justice seems directly proportional to economic status. Recognizing these dynamics is essential for fostering true equity in society. It is vital to advocate for transparency in legislative processes and push for reforms that diminish the influence of money in politics. Supporting grassroots movements that aim to combat inequality can lead to more equitable laws that genuinely serve the needs of all citizens, not just the privileged few. By participating in community initiatives and holding lawmakers accountable, individuals can contribute to a more balanced legal system. Chapter 10. Culture and Ideology. The cultural capital of the 1%. Cultural capital refers to the non-financial social assets that individuals possess, which can influence their social mobility and status within society. For the wealthiest 1%, cultural capital is not merely an adjunct to their financial wealth. It plays a crucial role in solidifying their elite position and influence. This concept encompasses a range of elements, including education, intellect, style, and even connections within influential circles. Those with high cultural capital command respect and authority, as they are often viewed as tastemakers and trendsetters. The ability to navigate and dominate cultural spaces allows the 1% to maintain their elite status, creating a shared set of values and practices that reinforce their position at the top of the social hierarchy. In this realm, exhibiting knowledge of fine art, high culture, and exclusive leisure pursuits becomes a badge of honor, further distancing the elite from the rest of society. Cultural narratives serve as powerful tools for legitimizing the status of the 1%. These narratives, whether they manifest in storytelling, media, or societal discourse, often portray the wealthy as not just successful, but as deserving of their fortune due to hard work and exceptional talent. This framing serves to obscure the systemic advantages that individuals in the 1% typically enjoy, such as inherited wealth, educational opportunities, and social networking. By weaving narratives of meritocracy, the elite can create a sense of fairness around their wealth, persuading wider society to accept their dominance as a natural outcome of individual achievements. This social legitimacy allows the 1% to influence ideologies and policies, thereby perpetuating a cycle wherein their cultural capital not only propels their influence, but also enhances the perception of their role in society. When these narratives are consumed and internalized, they effectively entrench the existing power structures, ensuring that the elite remain at the forefront of both cultural and economic landscapes. Enhancing cultural capital can be a practical tool not only for the elite, but also for anyone seeking to improve their own social positioning. Engaging in activities such as art appreciation, attending prominent lectures, or participating in community discussions can broaden one's cultural knowledge and increase social networks. These steps can foster connections with diverse groups, challenge existing narratives, and promote greater understanding across different societal segments. By actively engaging with cultural narratives, individuals can gain insights that allow them to critically assess the influence of the powerful and possibly aspire towards more equitable social structures. Ideological constructs that favor inequality. Various ideologies have emerged throughout history that offer justifications for social and economic disparities. These ideologies often stem from deeply rooted beliefs about merit, ability, and the distribution of resources. One prevalent ideology is that of individualism, which posits that personal effort and talent determine success. Under this belief, society often overlooks systemic barriers and inequalities, assigning blame solely to individuals who may struggle. Furthermore, capitalist frameworks reinforce this ideology, celebrating wealth accumulation as a sign of personal virtue while demonizing poverty as a failure of character. This creates a societal narrative where the rich are seen as deserving their wealth through hard work, while the poor are often viewed as lazy or unambitious. Such constructs simplify complex social realities into a binary of success and failure, masking the structural issues that perpetuate inequality. The role of rhetoric in perpetuating elite interests is equally significant. Language shapes perception, making it a powerful tool for those in control. Politicians, media, and corporate leaders often use specific phrases and narratives to sway public opinion. Concepts like trickle-down economics imply that benefits given to the wealthy will eventually benefit everyone, despite evidence showing that wealth concentration tends to do the opposite. This rhetoric can create a false sense of hope among lower-income populations, leading them to believe that their circumstances are temporary and contingent upon the success of the wealthy. Moreover, terms like wealth creators elevate business elites and entrepreneurs to near mythological status, portraying them as the saviors of the economy. This narrative not only legitimizes their power, but also discourages critiques of economic policies that favor the elite, thereby maintaining the status quo. Understanding these ideological underpinnings and the rhetoric surrounding them is crucial for recognizing the mechanisms that entrench inequality. By challenging these narratives in everyday conversations, individuals can play an active role in reshaping public discourse. Recognizing the power of words and ideas allows for the deconstruction of harmful ideologies and enables the fostering of a more equitable society. Engaging with alternative perspectives and advocating for systemic change can disrupt the cycle of inequality that has long been justified by faulty beliefs and persuasive rhetoric. Shifting cultural narratives. Over the years, numerous cultural movements have emerged in response to elitist narratives that often prioritize certain perspectives while marginalizing others. Movements such as Black Lives Matter, #MeToo, and various environmental initiatives work tirelessly to challenge established power dynamics. They bring to light the inequities that exist within our societies, bringing forth voices that have long been silenced. This shift is not merely vocal. It has sparked discussions that question the very foundations on which societal norms are built. By promoting equity and inclusiveness, these movements are not only empowering individuals, but are also redefining what cultural narratives can be. Through art, social media, literature, and public discourse, communities are rejecting traditional hierarchies and pushing for a world where everyone has a seat at the table. Such a transformative approach offers remarkable potential for change by shifting cultural perceptions. When society embraces diverse narratives, it fosters a richer dialogue that reflects the complexity of human experiences. Art, literature, and media become tools for advocacy, creating pathways to empathy and understanding. When a new story is told, such as one that reimagines the roles of race, gender, and class, it opens the door to new possibilities. This is evidenced in the increasing prominence of diverse voices in film and literature, where alternative narratives resonate with audiences and allow them to see the world from different viewpoints. By embracing these narratives, cultures enrich themselves and pave new avenues for social cohesion and collective growth. By understanding, we can foster environments where everyone can thrive and contribute, ultimately leading to a more just and equitable future. Engaging with these changing narratives means actively listening and being open to different perspectives. This is essential for fostering understanding and empathy across communities. As individuals, we can contribute to this shift by educating ourselves about different cultures, actively supporting diverse creators, and advocating for inclusive representations in all areas of life. Small actions can lead to significant changes, demonstrating how powerful it is to engage with shifting cultural narratives. The challenge before us is not only to recognize where inequities persist, but also to participate in the continual reimagining of our cultural story, as every conversation has the power to influence the larger narrative we all share. Chapter 11. Activism and Resistance. Grassroots Movements Explained. Grassroots movements are community-driven campaigns that emerge from the local level, often fueled by the passions and concerns of individuals who seek change. These movements play a crucial role in advocating for social, political, or environmental reforms. The significance of grassroots movements lies in their ability to mobilize ordinary people, empowering them to voice their needs and influence policy decisions. They thrive on inclusivity and often represent diverse perspectives that can be overlooked in traditional political systems. By fostering a sense of community ownership, grassroots initiatives can create lasting change, as they inspire individuals to take action collectively rather than relying solely on established institutions. Numerous successful grassroots initiatives have demonstrated just how powerful collective action can be. One prominent example is the civil rights movement in the United States during the 1960s. Ordinary citizens organized sit-ins, marches, and voter registration drives, which ultimately led to significant legislative changes in civil rights protections. Another noteworthy case is the environmental movement, particularly the grassroots efforts surrounding the fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Activists, many of whom were from indigenous communities, rallied supporters from across the globe to protect sacred lands and water resources, successfully raising awareness and forcing corporations to reconsider their environmental practices. These movements not only sparked real policy changes, but also inspired countless individuals to stand up for their beliefs and seek justice in their communities. Understanding the dynamics of grassroots movements can inform how we approach social change today. Engaging with local issues and championing causes that resonate with our communities can amplify voices that often go unheard. By getting involved in grassroots efforts, individuals can harness their uniqueness, connect with others, and contribute to larger movements that resonate on a global scale. Each person has the potential to create waves of change, starting right in their own neighborhood. Effective resistance strategies. Activists throughout history have employed a variety of proven strategies to challenge entrenched power structures. One of the most impactful methods has been the use of nonviolent protests. Events such as marches, sit-ins, and rallies not only draw attention to injustices, but also unite people around a common cause. In the digital age, social media has amplified these efforts, allowing activists to organize swiftly and spread their messages to vast audiences. Hashtags, viral videos, and online petitions have become powerful tools for bringing issues to the forefront, effectively mobilizing support across geographical boundaries. When activists creatively utilize art, music, and storytelling, they can humanize their causes, prompting empathy and broader engagement from the public. The importance of community organization and solidarity cannot be overstated. Grassroots movements thrive when individuals come together to support one another, pooling their strengths to create a more formidable force. Community organizing fosters relationships, builds trust, and empowers individuals by giving them a voice in decision-making processes. This solidarity not only fortifies the resolve of activists, but also increases resilience against attempts to dismiss or undermine their efforts. When people from diverse backgrounds unite around shared goals, they create a stronger foundation for change, showcasing the power of collective action in transforming societies. With this shared vision, communities can forge alliances that underline their determination to confront injustices and dismantle oppressive systems. To initiate effective resistance, it is crucial for individuals to understand their community's unique context and needs. This approach ensures that strategies are not only tailored to specific challenges, but also resonate deeply with those involved. Engaging in open dialogues, listening to diverse perspectives, and fostering a culture of inclusivity can amplify the impact of these initiatives. By being adaptable and responsive to the evolving landscape of social movements, activists can leverage their collective power to provoke systemic changes while inspiring others to join the struggle for justice. The role of technology in activism. Technology has fundamentally changed the landscape of modern activism, reshaping how activists communicate, organize, and mobilize. With the rise of social media platforms, information can spread rapidly, connecting individuals from different backgrounds and regions who share a common cause. This connectivity allows grassroots movements to flourish, transcending geographical boundaries that once limited the reach of activism. People now use smartphones to capture live events, document injustices, and share their stories in real time, creating a powerful narrative that can engage audiences globally. Additionally, the ability to create and share digital content has enabled activists to craft persuasive messages that resonate widely, often instigating discussions that might not have occurred otherwise. Evaluating successful cases where technology has played a pivotal role in social movements illustrates the profound impact it can have. The Arab Spring is a prime example, where platforms like Twitter and Facebook were instrumental in organizing protests, disseminating information, and rallying international support. Similarly, the Black Lives Matter movement gained significant traction through hashtags and viral videos, highlighting systemic racism and injustice in a way that sparked global conversations and solidarity. Campaigns like Me Too harnessed the power of social media to amplify voices and experiences that had long been silenced, demonstrating how technology can empower individuals to challenge societal norms and demand change. These instances show that when technology is leveraged effectively, it can catalyze movements, mobilize communities, and bring about tangible social progress. One practical takeaway from the fusion of technology and activism is the importance of digital literacy. Understanding how to use social media responsibly and effectively can amplify one's message and create a more significant impact. Learning to navigate online platforms can provide activists with the tools needed to engage supporters, organize events, and advocate for change on a scale that was previously unimaginable. Chapter 12. Case Studies of the 1%. Success Stories of the Elite. Numerous individuals who have risen to great wealth and influence exemplify the power of ambition and hard work. Take the story of Oprah Winfrey, who transformed her difficult upbringing into a platform for empowerment and media success. Her journey from poverty to becoming a global icon not only showcases the potential for individual success, but also highlights her commitment to philanthropy, as she has dedicated a significant portion of her wealth to education and social change. Similarly, Elon Musk's relentless pursuit of innovation reshaped industries from electric vehicles to space travel. His determination to push the boundaries of technology not only generated immense wealth for himself, but also contributed to global discourse on sustainable energy and interplanetary exploration. These success stories resonate far beyond their financial achievements. They inspire millions to chase their dreams and consider their capacity to effect positive change. Examining the paths taken by these elite figures reveals valuable lessons about resilience and vision. Both Oprah and Musk faced numerous setbacks, yet their responses to these challenges were defining moments in their respective journeys. Their ability to pivot during tough times, learning from failures rather than succumbing to them, illustrates an essential mindset for achieving success. Additionally, their focus on creating value, whether through media that enlightens and uplifts or technology that addresses pressing global issues, demonstrates that true success often involves a commitment to serving others. Aspiring individuals can learn that building a legacy transcends mere financial gain. It's about making a difference and offering solutions that benefit society as a whole. Understanding the transformative potential of these success stories can empower anyone on their path. One key takeaway is that innate talent or privilege isn't the only determinant of success. Rather, it often comes down to grit, perseverance, and a willingness to learn from every experience. By setting clear goals, staying adaptable in the face of difficulties, and maintaining a focus on contributing positively to the world, anyone can carve out their own success story. The journey may be challenging, but with determination and a clear vision, each step taken can lead toward remarkable achievements. Lessons from historical figures. Throughout history, influential figures have shaped power dynamics in profound ways. Leaders like Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, and Nelson Mandela navigated the complexities of their time, wielding power while contending with the political and social structures around them. Caesar's strategic prowess allowed him to transition from general to dictator of Rome, demonstrating the importance of understanding both military and political landscapes. Cleopatra, often portrayed as a seductress, was a shrewd leader who used her alliances to secure Egypt's place on the world stage. Mandela's fight against apartheid exemplified not only the struggle against oppression, but also the art of reconciliation in leadership. Each of these figures taught us that power is not merely held but cultivated, often through the forging of relationships and understanding one's broader environment. The past and present elite experiences are intriguingly parallel. Just as historical figures leveraged social connections and strategic marriages, today's leaders often rely on networking and collaborations to expand their influence. The rise of social media has added a new layer to this dynamic, allowing individuals to project their personas and connect with audiences globally in ways that were previously unimaginable. Figures like Steve Jobs, who innovated the technological landscape, echo the visionary spirits of the past. The determination of activists like Malala Yousafzai highlights ongoing struggles for education and equality, reminiscent of figures like Harriet Tubman, who fought for freedom and social justice. This symbiotic relationship between historical and modern leaders reminds us that while the tools may evolve, the essence of leadership, vision, resilience, and adaptability remains timeless. As we look to these historical influences, it becomes clear that understanding their decisions can provide valuable insights into current power dynamics. Modern leaders can benefit from studying the strategies employed by the influential figures of the past, acknowledging both successes and failures. By adopting a mindset that appreciates historical lessons, individuals today can better navigate their own paths to leadership and influence. Embracing this knowledge encourages a holistic view of power, reminding us all that history is not merely a collection of dates and events, but a rich tapestry of lessons that can guide our choices and actions in the present. Analyzing recent events impacting the 1%. Recent sociopolitical events have dramatically influenced the standing of the elite, revealing the vulnerabilities of the 1%. The emergence of social movements advocating for equality and justice has garnered immense public attention, drawing scrutiny toward wealth disparity. Large gatherings in urban centers and online activism have spotlighted issues like tax reform, corporate accountability, and wealth redistribution. The pandemic served as a lens through which the inequities faced by everyday people became glaringly evident, while the privileged continued to amass wealth through diversified portfolios and digital enterprises. These events demonstrate a shift in how the public perceives affluence. The notion that the elite can wield unlimited power without consequence is increasingly challenged by popular demands for transparency and systemic change. Current developments are reshaping the power landscape, as traditional hierarchies are being questioned more than ever. The rise of grassroots movements, empowered by social media platforms, has created a dynamic where voices from the margins can challenge established norms. As leaders and institutions face public backlash, particularly in response to perceived injustices, the elite are finding it difficult to navigate this new reality. The actions and statements of wealthy individuals and corporations are now under rigorous public examination, influencing their reputations and ultimately their influence. Furthermore, the changing economic environment, spurred by technological advancements and shifting consumer behavior, is compelling the 1% to adapt to a more socially conscious marketplace. Those among the elite who cannot resonate with the values of the emerging demographic may find their power waning in an age where ethical consumption is on the rise. Recognizing these transformative trends, it is crucial for individuals and organizations to engage in thoughtful discourse about wealth and responsibility. By promoting a mindset that prioritizes social equity, every person can contribute to a fairer society. Understanding the interconnectedness of economic choices and social outcomes can empower people to advocate for systemic changes that benefit the collective, not just the few. Embracing awareness and dialogue around these issues can foster a more inclusive future. Chapter 13. Thinking like the 1%. Adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This perspective creates a love for learning and resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. Those with a growth mindset are more likely to embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and learn from criticism. This mindset is crucial for success because it encourages individuals to take risks, seek out new experiences, and view failures as opportunities for growth rather than as setbacks. The importance of adopting a growth mindset cannot be overstated. It paves the way for innovation and creativity, making it not just a tool for personal development, but also a vital component in achieving success in various aspects of life. Engaging in lifelong learning is another excellent way to cultivate a growth mindset. Whether through reading, online courses, or new hobbies, continually seeking knowledge enhances your brain's capacity for growth and adaptability. Remember, the journey of growth is ongoing. Each new challenge presents an opportunity for learning. By committing to this mindset, you empower yourself to not only face challenges, but to thrive in the face of them. Over time, these practices will reinforce your belief in the power of growth, setting the stage for lifelong success. Creative problem-solving techniques. Successful individuals often employ unique and innovative approaches to problem-solving that set them apart from others. For instance, renowned inventor Thomas Edison was famous for his relentless experimentation and embracing failure as a crucial component of the learning process. He once stated that he had not failed, but rather found thousands of ways that did not work. This mindset allows creative thinkers to view challenges as opportunities rather than barriers. Similarly, the design thinking approach, popularized by firms like IDEO, emphasizes empathy and understanding user needs. By focusing on how people interact with problems, designers can create solutions that resonate on a deeper level, often leading to breakthroughs that conventional methods might overlook. Additionally, successful entrepreneurs often emphasize collaboration, drawing insights from diverse perspectives to enrich their problem-solving processes. By fostering an environment where ideas can flow freely, they manage to tap into collective creativity, which often leads to unexpected and innovative solutions. To enhance creativity and critical thinking, consider implementing a variety of actionable techniques into your routine. One powerful method is the practice of mind mapping, which involves visually laying out ideas and connecting them in a nonlinear format. This technique can help you uncover relationships among concepts and enable you to see a fuller picture of the problem at hand. Another effective strategy is to set aside dedicated time for brainstorming without the pressure of immediate results. During these sessions, focus on generating a high volume of ideas, no matter how outlandish they may seem. Later, you can sift through these ideas to identify the most promising ones. It's also beneficial to adopt a curious mindset by asking open-ended questions. Simple inquiries like "what if?" or "why not?" can lead to deeper insights and fuel your creativity. Engaging in activities outside your field of expertise, such as art, music, or even sports, can spark new ways of thinking and inspire innovative solutions back in your primary focus area. An important aspect of creative problem solving is fostering a flexible mindset. Allow yourself and your team to adapt and pivot in response to feedback and new information. Creating an environment where different viewpoints are encouraged can prevent stagnation and open the door to fresh, unexpected solutions. Remember, the key to harnessing creativity lies in embracing spontaneity and experimentation. Keeping a journal or digital log of insights, new ideas, and reflections can also serve as a useful resource to tap into on challenging days. Use it as a space to document your journey, knowing that each entry might contribute to your next great breakthrough. As you grow more comfortable with your creative process, you'll likely find that problem-solving becomes not just easier, but also more enjoyable. Risk-taking and reward management. Calculated risks play a vital role in achieving rewards, and understanding this relationship can significantly enhance both personal and professional growth. Taking risks involves stepping outside of one's comfort zone, but it's essential to approach this with a sense of strategy. A calculated risk is characterized by careful consideration. It involves weighing potential benefits against possible downsides. When individuals or organizations engage in calculated risk-taking, they are more likely to develop innovative solutions and discover new opportunities. For instance, a business might invest in a new technology that has uncertain outcomes but could lead to increased efficiency and profit if successful. This relationship highlights that the greater the risk, typically, the greater the potential reward, but it also emphasizes the need for thoughtful analysis to minimize potential negative consequences. A balanced approach to risk-taking requires an understanding of personal limits and a clear objective. In both personal and professional settings, it's important to embrace the possibility of failure while not becoming reckless. This balance can foster resilience, as individuals learn to navigate setbacks and adapt to changing circumstances. In a workplace, leaders can promote a culture of calculated risk-taking by encouraging team members to share ideas without fear of judgment. This kind of environment invites creativity and collaboration, which can lead to significant advancements. Similarly, in personal endeavors, whether it's starting a new fitness regimen or pursuing a lifelong dream, taking risks with a plan can make the journey more rewarding. Understanding when to take a step back, assess the situation, and possibly reconsider options is as crucial as knowing when to leap forward. In embracing risk, it's also beneficial to develop a personal framework for evaluating opportunities. This could involve defining what success looks like, establishing clear milestones, and considering the consequences of both action and inaction. Being proactive in assessing situations enables individuals to make informed choices rather than reactive ones. Ultimately, the blend of risk-taking and reward management nurtures growth, learning, and achievement as individuals navigate life's myriad opportunities and challenges. A practical tip for anyone looking to hone their risk-taking skills is to keep a journal that tracks decisions, outcomes, and feelings about the risks taken. Reflecting on these experiences can shed light on patterns and inform future choices. Chapter 14. The Future of Power. Predicting Future Trends in Power Dynamics. Current trends in technology, economics, and social behavior are reshaping power dynamics across the globe. The rise of digital communication platforms has empowered individuals and marginalized groups, allowing them to voice opinions and mobilize for change in unprecedented ways. As information becomes more accessible, the traditional gatekeepers of knowledge, such as mainstream media and established institutions, face challenges in maintaining their influence. This shift is observed in various movements advocating for social justice, environmental protection, and economic reform, illustrating a growing demand for accountability and transparency from those in power. Moreover, the increasing importance of data and technology brings forth a new dimension to power structures. Major tech companies are amassing vast amounts of data, giving them significant influence over consumer behavior, political discourse, and even governmental policies. This concentration of power raises concerns about privacy and surveillance, prompting calls for regulation and ethical standards. The interplay between technological advancement and individual rights will likely redefine authority in various sectors, potentially leading to a more decentralized power distribution where individuals and smaller entities can wield influence through digital means. As societal roles evolve, forecasts suggest a shift towards a more inclusive and diverse representation in positions of power. The increased focus on gender equality and racial justice points to a future where leadership does not just reflect the status quo, but actively seeks to rectify past inequities. Organizations are beginning to recognize the value of diverse perspectives, and this recognition is anticipated to translate into more equitable decision-making processes. Consequently, we may witness the emergence of leaders who prioritize collaboration over competition, fostering community engagement and social responsibility. Additionally, younger generations, notably millennials and Gen Z, are becoming influential decision-makers. Their values often emphasize sustainability, mental health, and social equity, demanding a redesign of traditional power structures that prioritize profit over purpose. The ongoing integration of these ideals into business and governance will likely lead to significant changes in how organizations operate, encouraging practices that align with the values of a socially conscious populace. Those who adapt to these shifts will not only thrive, but also play a crucial role in shaping a more just and equitable society. Understanding the impact of current trends is critical for predicting future dynamics. By embracing inclusivity and leveraging technology responsibly, individuals and organizations can enhance their influence in an evolving landscape, redefining their role in society and contributing to sustainable progress. The role of globalization in shaping power. Globalization fundamentally alters traditional power dynamics by breaking down barriers and fostering interconnectedness among nations, cultures, and economies. With the rise of technology and communication, information flows rapidly across borders, empowering not only governments but also individuals and non-state actors. This shift allows grassroots movements, social media campaigns, and global activism to challenge established authorities and reshape societal norms. While powerful nations may have historically wielded significant influence, globalization levels the playing field, offering emerging economies and marginalized groups new avenues to assert their voice and mobilize resources. This democratization of power provides opportunities for collaboration on issues like climate change, human rights, and economic development, transforming how societies engage with global challenges. As globalization continues to evolve, it carries profound implications for local and global governance. Governments are increasingly confronted with complex issues that transcend borders. From pandemics to environmental crises, no country can tackle these challenges alone. This interconnectedness necessitates new forms of governance that prioritize collaboration and shared responsibility, often through international organizations and multilateral agreements. Local governance must also adapt, as citizens demand more transparency and responsiveness in decision-making processes. The rise of digital governance tools allows for greater civic engagement and participation, enabling communities to influence policy in ways that were previously unimaginable. The ongoing transformation brought about by globalization emphasizes the importance of adaptability and cooperation in navigating future power structures. As individuals and organizations become more globally aware, they are more inclined to push for inclusive policies that reflect diverse perspectives. By leveraging technology, fostering active citizenship, and nurturing cross-border collaborations, societies can harness the benefits of globalization while addressing the challenges it presents. For those looking to engage in this evolving landscape, staying informed and connected across cultures and regions will be essential. Embracing a mindset that values collaboration over competition can lead to innovative solutions and sustainable growth. Envisioning a more equitable society. A world characterized by equitable power distribution inspires hope and possibility. Imagine a society where voices from all walks of life are equally valued, where the decisions that shape our lives are made inclusively. Picture communities where resources are shared equitably, breaking down the barriers that typically separate us based on wealth, race, gender, or social status. In this envisioned society, everyone has equal access to education, healthcare, and opportunities for personal and professional growth. This power is not concentrated at the top. Instead, it flows freely through neighborhoods, where each individual contributes to and benefits from a shared sense of responsibility and collective progress. Here, people collaborate rather than compete, fostering trust and mutual respect. Through grassroots movements and local organizations, citizens actively engage in shaping policies that directly impact their lives, ensuring their realities are recognized and addressed. Transitioning to a more just and inclusive society requires deliberate, thoughtful strategies. Education plays a pivotal role. We must cultivate awareness from an early age about social justice and empathy, encouraging children to embrace diversity and understand systemic inequalities. Community programs can facilitate dialogues around these issues, bringing together individuals from diverse backgrounds to share their experiences and perspectives. Economic reforms are equally vital, prioritizing fair wages and worker rights, allowing marginalized groups to share in the prosperity they help create. Support for local businesses and cooperative models can empower communities economically, demonstrating that wealth can be generated and distributed more evenly. Furthermore, policies aimed at dismantling systemic barriers, such as improved access to healthcare, subsidized education, and legal aid for those facing discrimination, are essential in overcoming the historical legacies that have perpetuated inequality. To sustain this vision of equity, active participation from every member of society is crucial. Individuals can start by engaging in their communities, advocating for fair practices, and supporting initiatives that promote inclusivity. Small actions, such as volunteering, mentoring underrepresented youth, or simply listening to someone else's story, can contribute to a broader culture of equity. Being conscious consumers who support businesses committed to fairness can also drive change. Ultimately, each effort, no matter how small, adds to a ripple effect, transforming our collective environment into one where equity and justice are more than aspirations. They become fundamental values we live by each day. Chapter 15. Empowering the 99%. Creating change from the ground up. Grassroots efforts play a crucial role in driving societal change, as they empower individuals and communities to tackle issues that affect them directly. When people come together at the local level, they can highlight specific problems, share their experiences, and create a unified voice that resonates beyond their immediate surroundings. This kind of collective action fosters a sense of ownership and investment in the solutions proposed, making the change more sustainable and meaningful. Grassroots movements are often born out of necessity, rose from a deep well of passion and urgency, demonstrating that real change starts when citizens become active participants in shaping their environments. Successful grassroots movements are often the catalyst for larger shifts in policy and social awareness. For instance, the environmental movement in the 1970s began small, with local groups organizing cleanups and advocating for conservation. Over time, these initiatives gained momentum, eventually leading to the establishment of Earth Day and significant environmental legislation. Another example is the Black Lives Matter movement, which began as a social media response to violence against Black individuals. The hashtags evolved into a worldwide protest against systemic racism, demonstrating how local actions can spark global conversations and elevate the voices of marginalized communities. These cases show that grassroots efforts are not just about local change. They can prompt national and even international shifts in attitudes and policies. Engaging in grassroots initiatives can be deeply rewarding and impactful. To contribute effectively, find locally organized groups that align with your values and interests. Whether it's involved in advocating for better educational resources, fighting for environmental justice, or improving community services, bringing your unique perspective and skills to the table can help fuel progress. Remember, change often starts small, and every effort counts. By participating in grassroots movements, you not only help address pressing issues, but also inspire others to join in the collective journey toward a better future. Fostering community engagement. Engaging communities in decision-making processes is essential for creating a sense of ownership and promoting transparency. One effective technique is utilizing participatory workshops where community members can voice their opinions and contribute ideas. These workshops encourage dialogue and ensure that diverse perspectives are heard, which helps in crafting solutions that reflect the collective needs of the community. Another approach is to leverage digital platforms, such as social media and online surveys, to gather feedback and opinions. This not only reaches a broader audience, but also facilitates engagement from those who may not be able to attend physical meetings. Moreover, creating advisory boards or committees composed of community representatives can deepen the connection between local residents and decision-makers. These groups act as a bridge, ensuring that the voices from the community are translated into actionable insights during policy development. Building a culture of participation and collaboration requires intentional efforts to create an inclusive environment. Start by establishing clear communication channels where community members feel empowered to share their thoughts and participate actively. Encouraging transparency in processes also enhances trust, allowing individuals to see how their input is shaping decisions. Celebrating small wins and community achievements cultivates a sense of pride and motivation among participants. Furthermore, fostering relationships among community members through team-building activities can strengthen bonds and facilitate collaboration. By recognizing and valuing each person's contribution, communities can cultivate an atmosphere of respect and teamwork. Facilitating regular gatherings and creating platforms for sharing stories can also keep the community connected, making collaboration feel more natural. Providing resources and support for ongoing engagement can further enhance participation. Offering training workshops or access to tools that enable members to communicate their ideas empowers them to take a proactive role in their community. Setting measurable goals and sharing progress updates helps to maintain momentum and keeps everyone aligned towards common objectives. Establishing strong partnerships with local organizations and stakeholders opens additional pathways for involvement, amplifying the community's efforts. This interconnected web of engagement transforms decision-making from a top-down approach into a collaborative effort, ultimately leading to more sustainable and relevant outcomes. Empowering community members to take an active role in shaping their environment ensures that their voices are not just heard, but actively influence the changes they wish to see. The path to collective empowerment. Unity is a powerful tool in the fight against inequality. When individuals come together, their collective strength can challenge the status quo and pave the way for significant social change. Each person brings unique perspectives and experiences, enriching discussions and fostering understanding. This shared commitment to a common cause can bridge divides, whether they stem from economic disparities, racial injustices, or gender inequalities. Together, people can amplify their voices, turning whispers of dissent into a chorus demanding justice. The realization that our struggles are interlinked can inspire empathy and solidarity, sparking a movement that drives real transformation. Collective action serves as a catalyst for social change. When communities unite, they become a formidable force, capable of lobbying for policy changes, organizing protests, and creating awareness about critical issues. The impact of organized efforts can be seen in various historical movements where the collective will of the people brought about significant reforms. Whether it is community-based initiatives addressing local problems or large-scale campaigns targeting national policies, the essence of collective action lies in its ability to inspire individuals to step beyond their personal concerns and work towards a greater good. Finding common ground, setting collective goals, and mobilizing resources can empower individuals and entire communities to take charge of their futures. Understanding the power of unity and collective action can be the first step towards meaningful change. Even small actions can have ripple effects when coupled with the efforts of others. Each person can contribute by advocating for their beliefs and joining forces with like-minded individuals. This cooperation can lead to innovative solutions that address societal challenges. Share your story, listen to others, and remain open to collaborating across diverse groups. In doing so, you not only help create a culture of empowerment, but also play an integral role in the broader movement for equality. Emphasizing unity encourages a collective commitment to dismantling the barriers that perpetuate inequality, ultimately fostering a more equitable society for all. The 1% rule isn't just about the rich and powerful. It's about who understands the game and who doesn't. For too long, most people have been stuck in reaction mode, following the narratives, decisions, and structures designed by the few. But knowledge is power, and now you have it. You've learned how power works behind the scenes, why networks and strategy matter more than talent alone, the decision-making models that separate the elite from the masses, how to rewire your mind to operate at a higher level. The choice is now yours. Will you continue following the system, or will you leverage what you've learned to create your own path? Real power is not about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself, your decisions, and your future. When you master the art of long-term thinking, influence, and strategy, you are no longer part of the 99% that simply reacts to life. Thank you for listening to the 1% Rule, Why the World is Ruled by a Few, and How to Think Like Them, written and published by Mindful Literary. If this book has opened your eyes, share it with others. Because the more people who understand how power really works, the harder it becomes for the few to control the many. Now, go out there and apply what you've learned. Your future is yours to shape.